number one before. He's done everything in the game of golf, and he proved it again today.
What about this momentum? What about the rush of blue and the momentum you've had and the ability to keep it going?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like 2.5, 1.5 to America, and I actually thought, okay, that's a pretty solid effort. Do you know what I mean? Leading by 3 after day one, we'll absolutely take that. And obviously the boys, I think maybe Rambo, Victor, all making putts on 18, us squeezing out 2 down, 2 to play. I mean, yeah, this 18th hole into the setting sun has done us proud.
Phenomenal performance. Well done, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Riding on a high there, Justin Rose. So these are how the sessions went. Day one foursomes in the morning. It was a clean sweep for Europe. USA never had a chance out there with the standard of golf that was being played. Big wins early on from Rahm and Hatton, Hovland and Aberg as well. The rookie stepped up to the plate, 2-1 the margins in the second 2 matches. And not a dash of red. It was 1.5 points to 2.5 in the end for the 4 balls that went Europe's way. Big win as well, 5-3 for McIlroy and Fitzpatrick, Sam.
Yeah, incredible. They've created history there, the Americans not winning a match on the first day. I don't think that'll ever be repeated. It's just extraordinary day's golf, and what excitement they gave us.
Hunter, quite literally a mountain to climb for the USA here on the tops of Marco Simone.
The American Dream Team win the Ryder Cup in style.
Crowning moment. 12 strong team.
Welcome back to the 44th Ryder Cup here in Roma, Italia. And the boys in blue are flying high after the first two sessions. A dominant performance from Team Europe, taking on the United States of America. So many storylines have developed today. We cannot wait for the weekend. This is exactly where we are, in the grandstand on the first tee. Come tomorrow morning at about 6:30, it will be loud. It will be full of about 5,000 supporters running from the gates, trying to get a seat here. I'm here with content creator Peter Finch. And Pete, we just cannot believe what has happened in the last hour of golf. It was magical for the European side.
I mean, it shouldn't go understated about what has just happened there. The chances are we will never, ever see this happen again in a Ryder Cup.
Wow.
For Europe to wipe off every single bit of red from the board over the course of one day, and to theoretically have a chance to win the Ryder Cup within 2 days, this will never happen again. The play today from Europe has been sensational. The Americans not quite at it, but still. It's been an incredible day for European perspective.
It's been brilliant, hasn't it? The scoreline is 6.5, 1.5, and as you say, 8 points available tomorrow. Europe could win it by the end of tomorrow night by getting those 14.5 points. But brilliant putting on the 18th. We'll see more. We'll see some of the action from the 18th. I mean, Hovland, Rahm, and Rose. My goodness, he rose to the occasion. A major champion who's come back into the fold. He missed out on the last Ryder Cup. He really wanted to be part of this. Now let's head to the range. We've got our cameras out and about. Our roving reporter Adam Hunt is there, and Adam, who's on the range for his practice, trying to tweak a few things ahead of tomorrow's third session.
Well, after a tough day for the Americans here on day one of the Ryder Cup, we wondered whether or not an American player would head out to the practice ground just to work on their game after their match, and indeed we were proved correct. Here is Jordan Spieth after his match. It was an absolutely fabulous one, wasn't it, with his good friend Justin Thomas with that half against Victor Hovland and Tyrrell Hatton. It looked like they were going to clinch a crucial point for the Americans, but that fight back towards the end from the Europeans got them that half point, and it is Spieth who's headed out as the sun begins to set here in the early evening at Marco Simone Golf Club. He's sort of half of the time hitting drivers, and then half of the time speaking to his caddy Michael Greller, who's here with him. It is quite a relaxed practice session, just fine-tuning a little bit that was perhaps missing in his match. Of course, he sat out the opening foursomes session. It was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it, not playing with Justin Thomas, given their record in Ryder Cups past and how he's played particularly. This is Spieth's 5th Ryder Cup. He is one of the elder statesmen in the team despite his age. He's so experienced. 2 wins and 2 defeats so far in his 4 Ryder Cups so far. 9.5 points on the board. Just checking his phone there. It's been a busy and wonderful time for the Spieth family. Their second child was born not that long ago, a couple of weeks ago, his baby Sophie, so it's been a busy build-up to the Ryder Cup for him, but it's all business here as he focuses on trying to claw things back for the Americans. The world number 12 with 3 majors in the bag, but not since 2017, the last one of those that he won, and he's got that, as I said, brilliant record in the Ryder Cup with Justin Thomas. They picked up another half point today, and you would wonder whether or not they'll be out early tomorrow in the morning foursomes, because a huge improvement is needed for the Americans if they're to get back into this match. They need to produce some better golf tomorrow morning. I think he's looking at his phone just to check some of the numbers, perhaps on the launch monitor that he's got tracking these drives. He's also been deep in conversation with Michael Greller before you came to me. Be interesting to see what they're talking about, what they're working on. He's got a, I don't know if Tim, the cameraman, you can see this, given the sun is so low, but he's got a alignment stick placed about, what, 3 yards in front of him, angled, pointing away down the driving range, and he's trying to, I think, get the ball to hit the top of the alignment stick. I'm not a golf coach, as I'm sure you can tell, so I wonder what the specifics are of this practice, but it looks like he's finished here and perhaps going to get some irons out. It looks like he's pulling a wedge just to practice some of his wedges. And that is the scene here at the driving range. Very, very quiet, other than Jordan Spieth. We saw his partner Justin Thomas step out onto the putting green a few moments before this, about 5 minutes ago, but he just hit a few short putts with his caddy Bones, and then that was good enough for him, and he headed back inside the clubhouse. But Spieth deciding to work on a slightly longer game, the drivers and now the wedges. So we'll leave it there, but that's the scene. Beautiful conditions here in the early evening sunshine at Marco Simone Golf Club. Great day for the Europeans, but work to do for the Americans on day 2. How much will Spieth be involved? My guess is quite a lot.
Oh, Pete's just having a bit of a stretch there. It's been a long day, hasn't it, Pete? You were up very early. We all were. The alarms went at 3 a.m. this morning. I'm sure a lot of your alarms went very early, as a lot of the people here, they set theirs and had some breakfast, had a coffee, and came up here. The atmosphere was simply electric. We saw Jordan Spieth there on the range with the sun going down, beautiful setting, obviously trying to find a couple of things. His playing partner Justin Thomas really helped him out today, but Jordan, to be fair, he had birdies on 12 and 13 on the back 9, and around about 2:30 Italian time, 1:30 UK time, things were, as we alluded to at the top of the show, they were swinging towards the American side. There was red on the board, but then the Europeans came back. That grit, that determination, support from Captain Luke Donald and all the vice captains was just so impressive. I'm so excited. I keep talking, don't I? Justin Rose alluded also, saying around the 18th green, he's never seen so many players supporting him on the first day in his first match. I'll stop now.
I mean, this morning was amazing, but it can happen in foursomes. It just, the Europeans got the momentum. They were playing the better golf. It was a blue wash, and it was fantastic to see. Great, brilliant. But you always expect the American team to come back and to fight back, and that's what you saw. But it was in those moments that you really want your big name players to come to the fore, to actually perform under that amount of pressure. What happens? John Rahm, 2 eagles in the last 3 holes. Justin Rose, that incredible putt on the last.
We heard it here, didn't we?
Yeah, and that was the half of a match which should never have been half. Like, the US were going to win that pretty much all day. Like, Rob wasn't playing great, Justin was okay, but the US should have won that match. Yeah. Hovland on the last green, holding that putt. And all it does, when those things happen, the rules start to reverberate, the team gets excited, and they start to understand that they might be able to do something, which, like I said, is just very rarely been done before. And to do it with all these fans, like I said, with the whole team atmosphere, it's easy to do when you're winning, but the European team do seem together. They seemed brought together by this goal to try and get the cup back, whilst the Americans do look a little bit disjointed. They look a little bit lackadaisical about things. There was only Scotty Scheffler really on that back 9 today. He was really giving it the beans. Justin Thomas a little bit, but it was almost like he was trying to G Jordan Spieth up more than anything, rather than the crowd. So it was I don't know, it's an unusual day for the Americans, for sure.
Listen, we know how much they all want it. The Americans are super keen to defend their title. But just to highlight as well, in this first grandstand, we're sat here on the first grandstand, we heard the roars on 18 to our right-hand side. They were almost deafening, weren't they, when Justin Rose's putt went in. So many different amphitheatres, a brilliant spectators course here at Marco Simone. Let's remind you what happened this morning, and the dominant blue that was on the board. It was 4-0 after the foursomes session this morning, and so impressive. Great picking from Luke Donald. It was Rahm and Hatton out first. They won 4-3 over Scheffler and Burns, and Hovland and Aubert. There was question marks. A few were questioning whether Aubert should be going out as a rookie in the first session, but he proved his worth. 4-3 over Homer and Harmon, and Lowry and Straka, they defeated Fowler and Morikawa 2-1. Then it was another 2-1 score, wasn't it? McIlroy and Fleetwood. Fleetwood Mac, we're coining them now. Yeah. They played Schauffele and Cantlay, who were undefeated back in 2021. So a brilliant European performance. Going into the afternoon session, obviously had a nice quick lunch, because it was a really quick turnaround. 12:25.
Lot of ice cream, I imagine.
Italian time was the first tee off. And let's have a look at match one, who out in the afternoon for the 4 balls. Hovland and Hatton, they took on Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, who we've seen on the range, and a half point. The American side will be very upset with that.
Yeah, I mean, really, with Spieth and Thomas going off in the afternoon, those being really the talismanic figures in many respects for the American team, they needed to get a win. They needed to get that point. And they were so close, they were on the right track, but the way that kind of Hovland just, it was almost an immovable object at times today. It just wouldn't let them get away, and to hold that point on the last one, the crowd just did absolutely go nuts. I mean, a lot of sun, a lot of lubrication, I imagine, throughout the day, but it was just something to get everybody on their feet. It was a fantastic moment. It really was.
It's sensational, isn't it, to see a player like Victor Hovland be in the form he's in. Obviously, we saw him at the Tour Championship, the BMW Championship, winning the FedEx Cup, and now coming here to the Ryder Cup and just continuing it.
He looks jacked. Like this morning, he really got everything started when he chipped in on the first green, not from off it. There was a little bit of a slope in his way, so rather than put over it, he chipped over it from these lies. If there was ever an indication that Victor Hovland's chipping has been sorted, it was the fact he just chipped in on the first green of the Ryder Cup, and everyone just went crazy. Reverberated down here. Lauer was sprinting around the tee, getting everyone jacked up when he went in, and it was just that moment that you thought something is going to happen here. And Victor was always going to play definitely 3 sessions, maybe 4, and I don't think you could leave him out now. I mean,
here it is.
This shot. Just imagine how nervous you would be if you tried to do that, like on the first green at your home course. And Victor's doing it here in front of thousands of people off the tightest of greens.
And how much confidence does that give him?
Unbelievable.
Such a spur forward.
And it must have been such a dagger straight away.
Yeah.
I mean, the Americans must have looked at each other straight away and gone, God, what have we let ourselves in for it?
Wow, what a great performance from the guys. Moving on to match number 2, and it was the rookie Nikolai Højgaard playing with John Rahm, his first ever match, Højgaard, against Brooks Koepka, 5-time major champ, and Scotty Scheffler, who lost in the morning session. He was playing with Sam Burns, wasn't he? And the partnership with Koepka, just a half point. Again, what was the storyline in this one?
One of the advantages was because we had a 4-0, because Europe had a 4-0 victory in the morning, Luke was able to actually bring all the rookies in, put them with more experienced players, and actually blood them in this event. So Højgaard with Rahm, it's a really good match, because obviously Nikolai's going to be nervous, and you're with one of the captains on the team, realistically, Rahm. Yeah. So that was a way to really introduce him to the event. But to be honest, like, Nikolai and John kind of contributed equally to this team. It wasn't the fact Rahm had an incredible finish, but Nikolai did actually contribute, so he's going to do his confidence the world of good. But it was just Rahm just bringing it through at the end with those 2 eagles. It's just fantastic.
Brilliant. I love the chemistry between the players. I mean, in terms of European Ryder Cup history. I was speaking to Tony Jacklin the other day.
Yep.
He said, you know, the likes of Seve Ballesteros, he looked after Paul Way, and Tony Jacklin said to him, I want you to go out and be his father and really look after him. You see sort of similar, sort of brotherly relationships going on. We could talk for hours. Let's move on to match number 3 and show you who was involved in that. And again, it was a half point, and my goodness, Justin Rose was magnificent on the 17th and 18th, winning those 2 holes for Team Europe up against Max Homer and Wyndham Clark, major champ. And Homer's so brilliant in the President's Cup last year in 2022, 4-0. Bob McIntyre for the Europeans with Justin Rose, really helped along by major champ Rosie. And there it is. Look at that celebration as that putt on 18 went
look
in.
At that. Amazing. That is so good. I mean, throughout the day, Wyndham Clark especially was looking in really good form. Like, he was really kind of steering this team, and you thought, again, this was going to be an absolutely nailed-on point for the US, but Justin's got so much experience in this event, and he really, really stepped up when it mattered. And the pressure on that putt, you could just see the relief of how much that meant to him. Being back at the Ryder Cup, it's obviously a massive goal for him to play in these events. And to hold a putt like that in front of the team, in front of that crowd, and to just absolutely look at him, he has lost his mind there. Like that,
should we all do it?
He's going to look back at that video and go, who is that guy?
And also the squat afterwards was
Tommy Fleetwood
very
squat.
Gymnastic.
That was a Tommy Fleetwood squat.
I think he should praise Justin Buckthorpe, who he works with. I know that Justin makes him do lots of squats. Moving on to the 4th match. Well done, Rosie. Absolutely brilliant. Moving on to Rory McIlroy playing with Matt Fitzpatrick. 5 birdies in his first 5 holes for Fitzy, up against Colin Morikawa and Xander Schauffele. Brilliant start from the European side. It looked like it was going to finish early on the back 9.
I saw a look in Matt's eyes today that I've just not seen before. He just went absolutely nuclear. He just went off the chain. Like, Rory was literally not involved for the front 9. He didn't even need to be there. He hauled the birdie on the par 3. Indeed, he did. That was true. But apart from that, Fitz was just absolutely steering them, and it kind of just dragged a little bit on the back 9. They should have
finish it off.
They should have actually finished it a little bit earlier. They were losing a few holes, and you're getting a bit nervous.
It was 5 and 3, Pete. They got the points.
Exactly. They should have done it. They should have done it after 12 holes.
It's a point. It doesn't matter.
All right, fair enough.
I was speaking to some of the journalists in the media centre, and we were talking about every point that matters in the afternoon session. It's like a 2-point swing, because you go from 4-0, and you either go 5-0 or 4-1. So every point is just so crucial in a Ryder Cup.
I mean, what Zach Johnson really would have wanted is, in the changing room tonight, he would have been able to say, you know, we've got some momentum, we've got something.
Yes, to work with.
But he's not able to do that because of the way Europe came back. They had the momentum in the morning, and even though they've won the afternoon session by winning that match and obviously the 3 halves.
Yeah.
But it's more the fact that it was like a half and a half, if that makes sense. They've got the half points, but they've again just put the American team down into a position where we are not going to let this go. It was a perfect performance. It really was.
Predictions for tomorrow. More blue on the board.
I mean, I would be shocked if we don't see a few American victories tomorrow.
Okay,
there's no way that they are going to
between the teeth.
They're going to have the bit. They're going to have the blinkers on. Any other horse references we can come up with. They are going to be absolutely storming, charging.
We love it.
Down the
Pete,
fairway.
Great stuff. We've loved your company. Let's head out to Adam. Adam's out and about. And while we calm down, Adam, let's get over to you.
Well, we're here in the fans' village with some very happy European guardians. Time for a sing-song, boys.
Whoa! Justin Rose, always believe in your swing. You got the power to win. You're indestructible. Always believe in Justin Rose.
So good. Well, where do I even start? We'll start with the song, Justin Rose, that putt. What was the feeling when you saw that go in?
Honestly, here's what we started this thing. Justin Rose was with us. We've done 6 Ryder Cups, and he's been all but one of them with us. And wow, it was just such an emotional moment. You know, that is such a big half point for us at the end there, and really keeps the momentum going into tomorrow. And like, the European fans are absolutely electric out there. Everyone is buzzing. It's what a feeling. And you could see the passion with the man. He is absolutely cut him in half. It's Europe blue.
Yeah. When you boys walked in at what, 5 o'clock this morning, whatever it was, could you ever have imagined that the scoreline would be this when you headed home?
Yeah, I think we've taken like 4-4 or something. So to be what it is today is off the charts. The first session was outrageous and really gave momentum to Europe. So it's been a really great day for Europe today.
And also how they fought back, because it ended with Rose holding that putt, but there was a moment there where it looked like we were, in terms of European perspective, we're only going to get 1 point of those final 4 matches. Ended up not losing any of them. That was the thing that was fabulous. They all managed to crawl it back, and it's all for the Americans to do now. Unprecedented.
It was an amazing fight from the team. I mean, they really wanted to fight for every single hole. Every shot was important. And you saw the team's spirit as well, which I thought was just off the charts brilliant today. Yeah. We had an amazing day. It was better than we imagined it would be. Unfortunately, my pre-match prediction of 28-0 is not
It's bold.
Not quite.
That's money I've thrown away.
There's been an astonishing amount of sun cream applied today. You know, we've seen everyone's been slip, slop, slap. We've all been keeping ourselves, trying to keep ourselves, you know, without sunburn. But to finish like that, those last 2 or 3 holes, it's just amazing. And it wasn't just the Rose bit, but we are amazing.
Day one. All the other players were like hanging around supporting them. That was amazing. That's what Justin Rose turned to. And like the US guys, they just weren't there for them. So just brilliant.
For people who don't know the European Guardians, we've obviously seen you at many Ryder Cups in the last few years. Give us a sense of just how many you've been to and what this group is.
Collectively or individually?
Well, either.
I think it was like 6 or 7.
Started off with my dad, 1985.
Your
Belfry, when it was just a cheap day out in the Midlands. But we came together, put on the kit, Celtic Manor 2010, and then it sort of rolled. We've been to every one since then, so we're starting to clock them up.
And you're all back tomorrow?
With bells on, with bells on. Little stat for you. If you win 6.5, 1.5 on the first day, you are 100% likely to win.
Wow, heard it here first. Okay, well, you've got to get and watch the concert. I think Tom Grennan's playing in a few minutes. Absolutely brilliant. You have a few more drinks to celebrate a great first day. Be back tomorrow. Let's have one more sing-song. 3, 2, 1.
Time flies by in the yellow and blue. Take Rome, take a look at the view. There's a game of golf that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you'll know where I'll be. I'll be watching John Rahm underneath the hot sun, feeling like a .1.
I can't sing like you guys.
I'll be watching John Rahm underneath the hot sun, feeling like a .1, .1, .1. Come on!
I'll be watching John Rahm underneath the hot sun. I was always told to stand at the back of the choir and to mime. Well done. Thank you so much to the Guardians of the Ryder Cup. They're fab. They're here every time. It's great stuff. Let's remind you of the... you didn't dance, you didn't sing. You really left me hanging there, didn't you?
Really didn't leave me hanging there. I wasn't getting involved in that.
Really didn't help me out there. Let's have a look at the scoreboard and show you exactly what the scoreline is. Morning session dominated by the Europeans, 4-0, and in the afternoon the 3 halves for the United States. And that point at the end from Matt Fitzpatrick on a birdie streak on that front line, and Rory McIlroy. What will happen tomorrow? 8 points available on Saturday. Well, it's suddenly gone very dark. We're better in this lighting, in fact, aren't we, Pete?
I just spotted us on the screen down there. It is literally pitch black. Wow.
No, I do like the dimmer lighting. It's been fab. Thanks so much for your company.
Thank you so
Hope
much
to
for
see
having
you
us.
over the weekend.
Yes, well, you'll be seeing us here tomorrow morning.
Oh, you're on the VIP seats, aren't you?
I'm going to be there. You'll hear me screaming.
Oh, great stuff,
Yeah.
great stuff. Thanks, Pete. You're awesome as usual. The question is, can the Americans fight their way back on day 2? We will see you bright and early. Do you know how early?
Too early.
5:45 a.m. We cannot wait. We'll see you then. Good evening.
Welcome to one of the greatest events in golf and one of the greatest in all of sports. The USA against Europe.
There's something about coming together as a team, unifying to play for something bigger than ourselves, and the Ryder Cup does that.
This looks good.
team, camaraderie, chemistry, everything about it, it's captivating.
Red versus blue, Europe versus America. It becomes theatre. It becomes an occasion.
You know, your emotions are in it the whole week. There's a lot on the line.
What a thing to do at a time like this. Oh, beauty!
Well, that's what the Ryder Cup is all about. Stunning performance.
And finishes in style.
Unbelievable.
Beautifully hauled.
And that just draws the line under one of the great Ryder Cups.
You go through these incredible emotions together and you come out the other end usually better for it.